And the hype train just crashed, and that's not a dig at Mojo Rawley. Welcome to the Daily Neitz, a daily look at classic films, modern cinema, and the world of professional wrestling. And tonight was the draft. And you can ask Cody, she's not in the building right now, but I've been excited for this for days. It is the kind of thing I love. I like watching the NFL draft because I like hearing the stories of the different people and the speculation about what they're going to do at different teams. And it looked like this year, with the WWE Draft, they were going to go a more sports-oriented way with it. They had the second screen experience on the network with, Corey, Lita, Booker, and Renee talking about every pick as they're happening, and all that while SmackDown is going on the main screen, which in my case was my laptop because shenanigans. But I was so excited for it, and it was a really cool setup, and I was really happy with it. And all of a sudden, nothing happened. It was like, there's so much speculation. Like, talking about the NXT 6, right? We're talking like, okay, Finn Balor's definitely going to get drafted, right? Shinsuke's got to get drafted. Bayley's got to get drafted. Who are the other three going to be? American Alpha. Okay, who are the other two going to be? Maybe Alexa Bliss, maybe Carmella, maybe someone like Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, that kind of thing. But no, it was Finn. It was Finn and Alpha, which we assumed. And then Nia Jax. Okay, sure. I think she's a little green personally. She hasn't had a lot of experience down there, but she's a monster. She's a different type of female wrestler. Like, she's will add some much needed diversity to that division. So fine. Alexa Bliss, great, awesome. I like her. She was one of my I thought maybe Carmella, great. Awesome. She's great. Sure, she's not with Enzo and Cash. She's on a different brand. And then Mojo. And okay, no Shinsuke, no Bayley. Okay, why not? And thinking about it, I understand it. There will be no women's division if Asuka and Bayley aren't there. Bayley still has a shot at the title. She has a rematch clause, so she still has to have at least one more match with Asuka. And I think she's a big selling point for that company, and without Finn, you need a Bayley. And then Shinsuke, again, he just won his match with Finn last week, so he may not have an immediate title shot with Joe, but he's going to earn one, and he's going to have one, and he may even have a run with the title. And losing Finn, again, kind of need him there. But why not someone like Austin Aries, someone who's had a lot of TV experience, like a TNA? Or someone like Rhino. Rhino just showed up again last week. Draft him up. He's been around for 20 years. He can handle Raw or SmackDown now. It's just weird with Mojo. And I don't know. It's just it's not that I don't like him. In fact, the past couple matches I've seen him in, I actually said he's gotten better. This is a different side of him. He's doing more things in the ring, and he's improved, and he's improving. It's just strange. It's a strange choice. The other thing that kind of left me was in the draft rules. They had the list of rules, and it said tag teams will come as one team unless the commissioner or general manager decides to take just one member. Ooh. Who are they going to split up? They're leaving this open to split somebody up. Are they going to split up Enzo and Cass? Heaven forbid. Are they going to split up the New Day? Heaven forbid. Are they going to, split up Breezango? Please don't. They are my saviors. But then looking in at the list that WWE provided, they had already split up the Lucha Dragons, which they went to separate brands. Fine. The Wyatts were all listed separately, and I think only Braun went to Raw, which again is fine. I want that faction to grow. I want there to be more Wyatts. Speaking of which, Xavier Woods hasn't shaved in a while. The New Day is on Raw. I smell Braun and Woods versus Big E and Kofi in the near future. Besides the point. But I want to see that faction spread and grow and have 3-4 members on each brand. That would be really interesting and intimidating and good for them. But beyond that, of the listed tag teams on their website, only one had members drafted separately, and that was the Social Outcasts. And still, Bo and Curtis went to Raw, and Slater has yet to be drafted, which is a nice little joke at the end of the network bit. But why even have that caveat if you're not going to split a team? Like, you're leaving a door open and no one's walking through it. And that's kind of weak to me. The other thing, it's like, it's a draft. Anyone can be drafted. I was expecting to hear names like Tajiri would be one of the Raw picks, because he's come back for the Cruiserweight Classic. They're having a Cruiserweight division. He's got a lot of experience, and he can teach some of the newer guys. Why, like, Tajiri or Brian Kendrick, or, one of those guys, like a surprise draft. There's no surprise, like Kurt Angle return, even though people said it's not going to happen, people being like Triple H and Kurt Angle have said it's not going to happen, it didn't happen. In fact, there's no surprises, nobody that we didn't already know about was drafted tonight, and that's weird. You're just like, there are doors and windows open for some creativity and some surprises and some swerves, and no one went through any of them. Everyone just kind of stayed, everyone being the creative team, just kind of stayed in their box, drafted people that we know about in a relatively predictable order. I called last night Seth and Dean. I didn't see Charlotte going third, which I'm happy about. That's really cool. And then Finn went fifth, which is great. I expected him top 10, not top 5. So, awesome. Finn went above Brock Lesnar and John Cena, which is cool. It's cool knowing that we're moving past like that previous generation of guys, as great as they still are. We're moving past them. We're moving on to some new, fresh faces. Good, I like it. But there were no really new, really fresh faces, which I would have liked. As for the two-screen thing on a whole, I had SmackDown Live on my laptop, and I had the network on the TV for the Draft Center, or whatever they called it. I wish they'd have done a little bit more balancing with what's going on, because there were points when, like, I want to watch this match in the show, but I also want to hear what that guy's saying on Draft Center. He's cutting a promo. What's going on? Like, there were times it was fine. Like, I can watch Jericho wrestle a nothing match in a red t-shirt, or listen to Enzo and Cass talk. Like, I'm going to watch Enzo and Cass. Or like the main event, like, I can watch this title match or listen to Sheamus. No, I'm not going to listen to Sheamus. But I wish it was like, maybe they were plugging stuff on the network during matches, and then when USA went to commercial, then they had the promos on the network and kind of streamline a little bit. But it's the first time they've done anything like this. Can't expect perfection. Just a tiny little complaint. I could go back on the network and just rewatch the whole thing, but that's like 3 hours or 2 hours, and I'm not going to, because I'm tired. But as I did like that they did that. It did make it feel more legitimate, more like I don't want to say legitimate sport, but more like a professional league, more like what the NFL would do, or the NBA, or what have you. So I liked that two-screen experience. A little bit more streamlined would have been nice, but it was good. It was a good idea, cool to do. But yeah, so might as well talk about the main event. It's the only other thing I think I haven't talked about yet. Overall, not a lot of matches I cared about on the show. A lot of matches trying to start and then getting broken up. I think Becky Lynch ruined a Natalya match before it started, and Sammy ruined an Owens match before it started, which is fine. It's fine. But the main event, a rematch for the title, and Dean Ambrose wins squeaky clean. Even after Seth cheats, Seth went for an eye poke at one point and looked like he was going to hit the pedigree and take the title. But no, Dean wins, which I'm fine with. I like Dean, clearly. But first live SmackDown, why not trade the title over? If you want to keep it on Dean's shoulders, give it back to Dean on Sunday, you got that match. But why not change the titles? Make SmackDown worth watching. I mean, it was worth watching for the draft tonight, even though there were no surprises, but not even in the matches were there any real surprises. So it kind of still worries me that SmackDown might be a nothing show still. Still too early to tell. We haven't had a full Raw with this new roster, full SmackDown with this new roster yet. Can't say that the world title is going to SmackDown yet, because we still have a match for it on Sunday, and it will probably change hands to Seth Rollins, hopefully not Roman Reigns. So it's still too early to tell, but I'm left a little de-hyped by the draft tonight. Part of me is grumpy that Bayley wasn't drafted, but I'm sure she will show up on Sunday anyway. If not, then the riots will begin. My camera's telling me I have 4 minutes left on this SD card, so I need to wrap this up. One more thing, the other thing, I was thinking a lot of feuds were going to end this weekend at Battleground because the draft is happening and they're splitting brands, but it seems like they kind of just moved feuds to brands instead of people. So Natty and Becky Lynch are on SmackDown, Owens and Zayn are on Raw. The only real one is, Cena and Styles are both on SmackDown. The New Day, Enzo and Cass and the Club are on Raw. The only one is the New Day and the Wyatts are separated. Sort of, because Braun is still on Raw. So that's why I think something's going to happen. The New Day is going to win on Sunday. It's not a title match. The New Day will win on Sunday. Woods will convert, and then on Raw, there will be the new Wyatt pairing with Braun and Woods against the remainder of the New Day. That's what I think they're going with that. But still, it's kind of carrying a feud onto the brand instead of making Sunday the clear blow-off match, which kind of bothers me. But it is what it is. It's not SummerSlam. They could have held this a month and done it right before SummerSlam and then making that a blow-off. But it's fine, I guess. I just kind of wish they'd done more surprises. That's all I got to say about the draft. Tomorrow I'm going to watch a movie again. The Adventures of Robin Hood. Like the old Errol Flynn one. So that should be a fun way to spend an afternoon. But until then, you can like, share, and subscribe. You can leave a comment in the comment section below. You can also follow me on the Twitter at Daily Neitz. And until tomorrow, bye.